Good afternoon, everybody, and gung ho fa choi.
Gung
Ho fa choi. That means Happy Chinese New Year. I was very happy to go to the Chinese New Year parade this year and get some of the direct decorations that you see. And I want to thank the people who helped decorate. And before we have our Chinese dessert party and chopstick lessons, I want to teach you a little bit about the Chinese culture. Number one, has anybody ever seen this symbol?
Yes.
You may have seen it on jewelry, on necklaces and bracelets. And what it means is yin-yang. And yin-yang is a principle, the most important principle in the Chinese culture, and that means balance. Balance. You ever have a scale where things have to be balanced?
Yes.
For every black, there's a white. For every up, there's a down. For every fixed star, there's a moving star. We have to have balance. For every male, there is a female. Now, that's number one, is balance. Number two, the Chinese believe that nobody ever really dies. Their body may leave, but they believe that the soul goes up into heaven, and your ancestors are watching over you all the time like Santa Claus. And once a year, if I could turn your attention to this man on the wall, he is in English, he's called the kitchen god. And every year before midnight, our New Year's celebration, which lasts for 10 days, at midnight, they burn the kitchen god. You probably have seen him in Chinese restaurants and any Oriental home. When you burn the kitchen god, you'll see the smoke go up. And what that smoke is supposed to be doing is reporting on your ancestors the same way that Santa Claus reports. And before midnight, if you ever anyone here who is Jewish knows about the holiday of Yom Kippur, and that's a holiday where you think about your life and you start all over again. Well, Chinese New Year is similar to that in that it's time before midnight to settle your debts.
It's the year of the horse.
Yes, it is the year of the horse, and I thank you very much, Dr. Shabar. I'm videoing, so I cannot have a conversation with you. Okay, so the Chinese believe that if we take care of our ancestors the way my doctor is taking care of his mother, then we will live in peace and we will be happy because our ancestors are where we have come from. And if we take care of our ancestors, then they from the heavens will take care of us. Now, because the Chinese believe that their ancestors are up in heaven, they believe that the moon and the stars and everything up in heaven has a purpose. And everything up in heaven is looking down and deciding what's going to be with our lives. No devout Chinese person would ever do anything, make a new farm, get married, buy a new house, without first consulting the stars. How many of you have been to a Chinese restaurant and seen the horoscopes? Well, the horoscopes, Chinese zodiac, is divided into 12 years. Everybody is an animal and an element. Like a lot of us know that you're either a horse or a dragon. I myself am a dog. I am an earth dog, though. And later on, we'll be talking about the horoscopes. Just remember, don't do anything without first consulting the stars because your ancestors are watching over. Now, the Chinese have no names for days of the week. If you remember, when we talk about Sabbath, the Hebrew people also have no names for days of the week except for the Sabbath. But every moon has a nickname. There's the bloody moon, the sleepy moon. They totally believe in the ancestors and the stars. Everything is represented by symbols. You know how in English we have how many letters of the alphabet? We have 26 letters, correct?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Chinese people have 50,000 symbols.
Oh, God.
50,000 of them. I'm not kidding. And there are 3 major religions in China, which be Confucianism, which rests on the beliefs of Confucius. Now, what is the golden rule? Do unto others as we would have others do unto us. Well, you know who originally actually thought of that concept? And a lot of our concepts, besides Virginia, was actually Confucius. And there's also the belief in Buddha. I don't have a statue of him here. And Taoism. Now, I told you a little bit about the kitchen god. When they burn the kitchen god, first of all, before they do that, before midnight, all the men and the businesses, when I went to Chinatown the other day, a lot of businesses were closed because the men want to settle their debts and start clean and start new, the way New Year should begin. And on the table, although I didn't do it here, there should be 5 kinds of sweet food, things like honey, sweet things. And before they burn the kitchen god, they put honey on his lips. Why do you think that is? This way, when they burn him, and you
sweet things to say.
You could hear this. Wait. It's like a horse riding up the chariot, riding up the kitchen god, and if he has sweet things on his lips, then he's only going to report sweet things about his family. And supposedly he is going up into heaven on the chariots, just like we made here on the table.
Happy days.
They sure are here again. Here we made beautiful Chinese fans, because it is believed that only in fire and smoke can any god or anybody go up to heaven. And then once the new year has begun and it's midnight, then, if you notice, I collected these at the parade. They're firecrackers. And just like here on July 4th, they set them off and all kinds of confetti comes out. But before that, they seal the doors with red. They seal everything with red so that nothing bad could happen outside of the house or inside of the house.
Nothing bad can happen.
He sends up all positive prayers. And all the children at the table get a red envelope. Now, some of you have red envelopes on your table. Please open up your red envelopes.
There's a lot of money in there.